about 20 to 25 at the Lincoln and a good 30 inbound at the George Washington Bridge. In Queens, the inbound LI is slow from the Grand Central in through Queens Boulevard. The Grand Central sluggish Francis Lewis in through 188.
In America, money rules and greed was good. Pretty much everything happened in New York City. Everybody wanted a piece of the money that had been made there. Most of all, Toyota. Toyota decided in the late 80s that they were going to make another branch to take on the BMWs and the luxury car brands of America. And that was going to be Lexus. The 80s was still a very analogue time, really. Mobile phones had just started being made and the cars were still at the top of their game, with huge names from Germany dominating the luxury market. Lexus really wanted to fight everybody on their home turf. The car they decided to use for this fight was the LS, and Lexus were determined to make it a better car than any other car out there, so they basically included every option that was available to them. By 1998, Lexus had made some very interesting inroads into luxury car brands. They wanted to take it further though. They wanted to take apart the BMW 3 Series, which at the time was the best-selling car in the luxury segment. The first generation IS was known as the Toyota Altezza. But by 1999, the first IS200 started coming into the UK and Ireland. Initially only available as a 2-litre petrol saloon, it was warmly received by the press. It was clearly a driver's car, as you'd expect from Katayama. And to get the best performance, the sweet 6-cylinder needed to be revved beyond 4,500 RPM. Even James May was impressed.
Now, what was it my mate Katayama was saying? Oh yes, that he wanted this car to be really good to drive. And it is really good to drive. When was the last time anybody on this programme ever said that about what is a Toyota?
It may be a Toyota underneath, but that didn't stop a loyal band of people falling in love with this IS200. There are very few other rear-wheel drive cars on the market that can be modified and enjoyed by a young group of people today. This is one of those cars. This car in Ireland was owned by a young man called Ryan Nagle, and this car has its own very special story. In 2019, the 13-year-old owner of this Lexus IS200, Ryan Nagle, fell from a quad bike, hitting his head on a rock and losing his life a week later in Temple Street Hospital. I got to speak with Ryan's mother.
From the very beginning, from he had a massive interest in cars, and he knew every badge as we were driving along, and I suppose like he got the flair that he wanted to have a career in buying and selling cars, and we felt, we weren't going to stand in his way, so he would have bought his first car when he was 12.
What was his first car?
His first car was Toyota Corolla.
All right, straight into Toyota.
Yeah.
Japanese cars were always a thing,
Yeah, absolutely. And he bought 2 of them actually and completed it into one and sold it for a profit, and it grew from there.
At 12?
At 12, yeah.
Wheeler dealer?
Yes, indeed, yeah. So he had 3 or 4 cars then after that, between swapping and selling, and then he was adamant when the IS200 came up that he wanted to purchase that, and his dad was a bit against it at the beginning, but looking back now, like, he's so grateful like that he convinced him to buy it, because it's our memory of Ryan. And
what age was he when you bought this IS200?
13.
Did you do anything to it at all? Or was it just a stock one? I know it's an IS200 Sport, but it's a stock one though, right?
Yeah. No, he polished it up, and he was buying little bits and pieces off the internet for it, and I think everybody from the lint of Ireland knew him for that, wheeling and dealing, trying to source parts and modify cars. And just the Sunday morning before he died, he actually was trying to do a deal to sell it for, again, a profit, and they were arguing over €300, and he didn't let it out of the yard.
He was
and
13 at that point.
He was 13, yeah. And I'm so glad he didn't let it out of the yard that Sunday morning, because he had his accident on the Tuesday, and unfortunately he lost his fight for life the following Tuesday. Yeah.
And he rode quad bikes though a lot, though, sport bikes, right?
He did, yeah. He did, yeah.
He was good on them.
He was a fantastic driver, yeah.
Where did he ride them?
Just here at home, under the supervision of his dad, and they'd go to the beach sometimes as well, yeah, together, yeah, and meet other quad bike drivers there, yeah.
And what happened on the morning of his crash?
The morning, he went to my parents' house, and himself and his first cousin headed over to a friend's house, and they were doing work with the quad bike, and they took it for a spin.
This is a farm quad bike?
A farm quad bike, yeah. And himself and his friend came off, and unfortunately Ryan hit his head and lost his fight for life a week later in Temple Street, Dublin, yeah.
Jesus, quad bike, huh?
Yeah.
But the car lives on now, so the car is taking a whole new life to itself, right?
Yeah, it's his legacy, and since he's run, I think that car has just made history, really, even for ISs and cars in general, and modified cars. The car community that day for his run really came out and showed people that they're a tight-knit community that just want to display their money that they have put in and worked hard for those cars. That day just really took me, because they were so respectable. They respected Ryan's memory, they respected me as his mom, they respected our run, and it was so well done by them. And only for those boys coming, it wouldn't have been as successful as it was on that day. My eldest son Jack will keep it forevermore as his memory of his brother, and there's just so much connection in it, between us and Ryan. Jack will put it into a heated shed, and it will stay there for forevermore, and I'm sure passed on to his children in years to come.
I mean, it looks amazing now.
Yeah.
You hear it out there making noise already.
Yes, indeed. It's
really
revving up for tomorrow.
Yeah, because it'll be dry tomorrow.
Yes, indeed.
Before we'd start into our long drive across Conor Pass, I thought I'd talk to Jack, Ryan's brother, who has done all the modifications to the IS200 since the passing of Ryan Nagle. And he knows more about this car than pretty much anyone. So Jack, you've taken Ryan's car and modified it a bit since then.
Yeah, so when Ryan bought the car, it was a completely standard IS200 Sport. It had the limited slip diff from
It's the
factory.
one that everybody wants.
Yeah, definitely.
And it's a manual as well.
It's a manual too. Since then, I've kitted it. I fitted a factory plastic genuine kit on it, including the plastic V1 bumper with the genuine rainbow fogs, which is very hard got nowadays. We've done the full stainless exhaust on it, and just tidied it up generally. Went through all the brakes, went through all the engine, just anything the car needed really. Carried it in over the winter. Myself and a buddy of mine just went through it all, and anything it needed it got, ball joints, anything.
You're getting more done to it?
The plan is to fit some coilovers on it, and maybe in the near future complete an engine swap on it.
Oh yeah? What did you put in?
We're thinking about a 1JZ, so hopefully that goes ahead.
Make it fit.
Yeah.
Deadly. You've done some great work on it. We're going to have to go for a drive. We have to go for a spin. Letting that noise rest with you, because an IS200 with the right exhaust sounds awesome. They're not fast, about 150 brake horsepower, 155, somewhere in that region, and well, they were never designed to be fast. They're actually designed to take on the BMW 3 Series, which was the Poynton, And the Japanese designer of this wanted to take a little bit of the market of these kind of cars. Now, at the time, the market was quite heavily petrol, not diesels. Lexus never, well, it did diesels for a while, they never really did this in a diesel. This was always meant to be a sort of performance car for them. This car means a huge amount to the family, obviously, but it also means a huge amount to Ireland, because in Ireland, the Lexus IS200 and the 250 and the LS and all these other cars that Lexus have done over the years have all actually succeeded quite well in this market. But never quite so much as this IS200, because what else would you buy that's rear wheel drive, has about 150 horsepower, is actually quite comfortable, is really reliable, will rev all day and still actually give a bit of value back when it's finished. Because these cars are always worth a bit of money. The real purpose of this visit was to honour Ryan, and of course the car and the Nagle family. And so for the few days before this, I'd organised for every Toyota, Lexus IS200, Altezas, whatever, to come down to Kerry and drive with me and the family across Conor Pass. So it's Sunday morning, and we're going to be setting off from here, from Ryan's house, in our car. This is the Lexus IS200. And we're going to cross to Dingle, essentially, is where we're going today. We're going via Conor Pass. So first stop, we'll meet up with everybody and see how they all are. And then we don't know how many's coming. I don't know. There could be 10, there could be 1,000. Who knows? We genuinely didn't know how many cars were going to turn up to this. I'd really only done a couple of TikToks and a few Instagram posts and maybe something on Facebook, but nothing really pushed for it. And yet, cars started coming, and they didn't stop coming until it was time to leave. What's it say? Show me the back of it again.
If the crossroads are empty, give her.
The crossroads are empty, give her plenty. You're deadly.
Car on Ryan Nagle's.
Ryan Nagle's car. Yeah. Have you got a Lexus? No.
No.
Anyone got a Lexus?
I wish.
No. Hey, what car are you going to get when you get old enough to have one?
Any car. Get me on the road, I suppose.
Paddy, why did you buy this car?
I suppose. Yeah, I suppose it speaks for itself. Yeah, do you know, when you drive it, you just have to have it.
Yeah. What do you think of this car?
I love it.
You love it?
Yeah.
Okay. And it's the best car you've ever had?
Definitely.
Right. Are you going to inherit this car?
Hopefully.
If Dad buys another car, are you going to keep this one?
Yeah.
Tell Bob the two cars that you spent all year. They cleaned out their bank accounts, Bob. They bought a car each.
The car each?
Mark one Skoda Octavia VRS.
Go away. A real one?
Yeah, Dad, you have a picture of my one.
What are you going to do with it?
Drive it when I can.
Right. You're going to modify it before you buy it?
No, I'm going to keep it stock.
As is?
I'm going to keep mine not sold at
It's
all.
very serious purchases.
They're growing prices already.
They can't wait till they get the farm off me, Bob, and they're going selling it to buy cars.
So you need to make a track out there in the farm.
We'll find Seamus's one. That's the two of them, then, Bob.
Deadly. Sorted. You guys are sorted in the future, huh? Yeah. Excellent. Well done. That is the right thing to do.
Well, hopefully. You called sick, I don't record him.
You're out sick here? Sure, where else would you be? What else are you supposed to be doing like on a Sunday?
High five.
To get a drone shot of them all together. So it's a Passat in the middle, it's going to kind of ruin it. Because we won't be able to turn around and come back down. It was still impossible to figure out how many cars were turning up to this event. It just seemed to be endless, and we didn't know who was in the event, who was just passing by to go Conor Pass anyway. But we waited until 11 AM, and then it was time to go. And then all at once, everything was full, we had nowhere left to park, and it was time to leave and head up into what's called Conor Pass. I led the way in the IS200 with Ryan's family. Ryan's ma is driving that car right behind me. That's Ryan's dad, brother, and his brother's girlfriend. We continued our journey up into the massive mountains. None of us had any idea how many cars were behind. An amazing array of Toyotas and Lexus cars all the way as far as the eye can see. Each one there to honour Ryan's memory and to support the Nagle family. People lined the entire length of Conor Pass, and I asked everyone after to send their footage. I'm going to include some of that right now.
Fuck all of you.
All too soon we reached the peak. We pulled over for a quick couple of photographs, caused a massive traffic jam, and then set off again towards Dingle, which is right on there on the left hand side of the screen. You can actually see the town in this shot. Spirits were very high though. This is your mammy's car.
This is her car, my auntie's car.
Oh, your auntie's car.
My auntie's car.
Yeah.
It actually belonged to my son, but
Yeah.
I'm driving it today for him.
Lexus IS200. Mature owner?
Yeah,
It's good, isn't it?
yeah.
Do you like driving it?
Fabulous car to drive.
Good. Did you enjoy the drive over?
Sorry?
Did you enjoy the drive over Conor
Beautiful,
Pass?
beautiful, absolutely beautiful. And she's from, I'm the second owner of this car.
Deadly. You gonna
And
buy one?
this is Lucy.
Me?
Yeah.
Lucy came with us as
You
well
never know,
today.
it might stick with the Toyota Starlet like mom.
Starlet, yeah.
Yeah.
I love the Starlet.
We had just missed. We landed on, there was no one there. And we were like, someone, the BMW came up and said they'd just gone and we fucking took off. We were at the back of it.
You made it all the time.
Yeah, I made it.
Alright. Over here,
So we made it over as far as Dingle. It's weird to see a massive community like this come together. So many Lexus and Toyota cars in this country, and they're all here in Dingle at the moment. Conor Pass is amazing, but it's all about this car today. It's all about Ryan's car. This IS200 is the one we were talking about in the whole video. Thank you very much to the Nagle family for again being very patient with me to do these videos. It's such a cool event to have them all here. Huge crowd turnout again in Dingle. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you've hit the subscribe button and let me know if you like these kind of videos and you want more of them. I'll make more of them for sure. Again, thank you very much for watching, and until the next time, I'll see you on the far side.
Go on!